Hello, Malcolm Fisher with another DCS Essential Guide to the F18. In this one we're going to look at the Sidewinder AIM-9X, which has got excellent off-boresight capabilities, infrared missile. And we have two on our outboard stations, and our opponent is a MiG-29 in ace mode, and he's got two R60 missiles which are also infrared. And we're going to do this without radar. Because it's an infrared, it's a visual fight. We're not going to be transmitting our radar and giving him a lock. So I'm going to fly now and just configure a few things in the aircraft. First one being that we're going to switch our radar off. And we're going to switch our dispenser on to bypass our ECM to XMIT. I'm going to push our speed to minimum of 500 knots for the merge, and we'll switch to our sidewinders now, and we can see in the flare, got a flare pod on. We can see in our flare image, we can see the smoke from our opponent coming towards us. And there's little use for this screen, so I'm going to switch on the EW screen there. And it's going to be visual as soon as I see the merge. We'll see him dropping flares, and that'll be our cue. We may also get a launch cue against us. So just let me pause for a moment here. So we can see the symbology is very simple. It's a circle. And if I look outside our field of view, we can see a circle with a square in it. Now he's launched at us, so I need to pulling hard. And you can see as I go outside the hood, I'm going to follow him up. He's dropped out of afterburner there, or else he's kicked it in. And we can see that I'm getting tone and a flashing circle, because that gives me a good indication I can fire. Now I'm going to wait until I get a better position on him. He's turned back down now, and I've quite a high speed, so he's going to come under me, and he's maintaining that turn. So he's defensive now. And if I put my head mounted display on him, you can see I'm getting a tone. Now I don't have a good enough shot on him there. That looks like a good one. I'm on. So once I got that high speed tone, you generally are going to get a shot that hits. So I've hit him that time. He's still up, and I'm going to try another shot. So for the AIM-9X, it's all about the tone, and the most important button is the on-cage button. You need to have that at your fingertips to on-cage as soon as you think you've got a decent lock, as this enables the seeker to track. Now you heard the tone after I released the first missile, and that tone is not related to the first missile launch. Once it's launched off the rail, you've got no further interaction with it from the pit. The tone is actually the second missile. So we're going to try that once more. Okay, we're now going to go up against a Su-25, and he's defensive and we're offensive, and we're going to turn on to him at 170, and we'll see him coming up on the radar. We're going to keep the radar on this time. We're going to look at how the radar can assist us in the merge. Just a quick configuration, and switch on our sidewinders. And I'm going to just silence our weapons a little bit so we can speak. Okay, so I'm going to configure our radar now into TWS mode and change our scale to 10 miles. And we can see the symbology on our HUD there. We've got 3 bits of information, well 4. The largest outer circle is the range queue, and it's also gives us an indication of what's the best time to launch. The 3 triangles on the outside. Let's pause it for a second and look at this. Those 3 triangles there represent the minimum firing range, the maximum firing range, and the one in the middle, it represents the outside range of the no escape point. And what we'll get is we'll get a little indicator coming up on the outside of the ring as we get closer. And what we want is we want that outside ring to come down between the first 2 triangles there to tell us that we're in the no escape zone. On the queue in the center, you can see there's a box representing an enemy contact. I think it's a triangle for friendlies. The circle represents the seeker of our AIM-9X and where it's pointing. And the large dot to the right hand side represents where the radar thinks our enemy is maneuvering towards. So if we start maneuvering aggressively, that's going to move away from the locking point, and we're going to use that to follow and know where we need to be maneuvering to. So let's unpause again. And our closure rate is 180. I'm going to pull back to about 460 knots so that we're 60 or 70 knots above corner velocity, so that we have enough energy for the turn. And so at the moment we're focusing on the center point, and we can see now our range Q is dropping down around the circle. And any time now we're going to see the large spot moving away, indicating where the bandit is going to maneuver to. Our closure rate is 170 and our range is 6. Okay, there he goes. So he's going to climb and bank to the right. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push into ACM mode by sensor switch select up. And I've reacquired him in ACM mode, and I'm now going to start tracking. Okay, 2.3 miles. Good bit of speed. We're now locked onto his trail, and it's a visual fight now. Be careful not to bleed off too much speed. He's quite a maneuverable aircraft. Doesn't have the same power that we have. Okay, we're using our high angle of attack now to try and get a position on him. And all our cues are telling us that we're in range for a good shot. and I've released the weapon. And that's a good shot. Now you did see the shoot cue there. I don't necessarily wait for that if I've got a good shot, but it's kind of guaranteed if you have the shoot cue. Okay, still you can see the arrow still pointing to where it thinks the contact is, because we still have a lock on it with our missile and next missile that's on the rack. So I hope you found this video useful and interesting, and feel free to like, dislike, subscribe and comment. And until the next time, this is Fish Out, and thank you for watching.